Hey everyone, welcome back to another new, fresh, and interesting episode of Tech Week. And today's video is going to be awesome as Apple. I've come up with some announcements made by Apple during the WWDC. And I'm your host Bhargav, and let's get started. Alright, before starting with the video, if you're new to my channel, then please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also smash that bell icon, and also give this video a like and share this video among your friends, because today this video is going to be mind-blowing. Your minds will be blown away by the announcements Apple has made during the ending part of WWDC. Ever since the introduction of the first Mac back in the 80s, Apple has always been a leader in terms of personal computing. Though there are competitions between Microsoft and Apple in terms of software, but we all know which lies on the premium segment. Obviously, for that, even today, Mac has been a brand symbol. Like many people who can afford a Mac will afford it as a status symbol for that more professional looking stuff. But Apple, how this performance has been made, it's like back in the 80s, Apple has made tied up with many companies to make its own, to make the processors for the Apple Macs. And it was until 2003 that Apple has partnered up with a company called IBM, which most of you are very famous, and they've made a processor together called the PowerPC. And this partnership lasted between the two companies for 2 years. And then Apple has switched over to Intel based processors. The reason being, which was said by Steve Jobs back in 2005, was that he wanted to ensure that the Apple Macs remain as the top leading laptops or desktops by that time, at that time. And as we all know, Intel was performing really good from in the 21st century, and even now it maintains its name. And it dominates the processor world. But um, due to the deal lasted for 15 years, and now Apple has decided to make a switch to the a new processor called Apple Silicon. Yes, this means that Apple is going to make its own processors for especially for the Macs from now on. We've already seen Apple making its own processors for both the iPad and the iPhones, and even the Apple Watch as well. What this means is that in the iPhone, iPad, and Apple Watch segment, Apple has the complete control over the creative side. Like, it can design according to its needs. But why? The major reason Apple has switched from its own processor to from Intel to its own processors is that many users have complained, which I feel is the main reason, because many users have complained that the 10 nanometer architecture which Intel has made for the Macs has caused a lot of heating issues. We all know that, and there have been many videos wherein many reviewers have tested it and shown it practically, like how heated it can get using their thermal cameras. And now Apple wants to make a, a difference. Like, previously there was a norm that in order to achieve more performance, you need to consume more power, and in order to reduce the heat, you need to use less power and reduce the performance as well. But Apple wants to work in the middle of these two. It wants to make a processor that consumes less power and gives you the maximum performance it can push. And we all know how well that has gone by. Take example for the latest iPhone 11 Pro Max, which has the world's fastest processor, smartphone processor in the world. Even the latest Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 cannot compete with that Apple A13 Bionic chip. And also, we are all very famous, known with the Apple iPads, uh, which have a place of its own. Though there are some issues, but still Apple iPads are being purchased, and in some circumstances they're even beating the regular laptops as well. Though being such a tablet, it actually beats the performance. It competes with an actual laptop. And in the latest iPad, Apple has given the accessories as well, a trackpad of a keyboard and a trackpad, making the user feel like he's using an Apple Mac, although it's completely different. But what does this mean for the developers? Well, for the developers, this means that they have to make a switch in order to like it should be compatible with the Mac, the latest upcoming Apple Silicon processor, and obviously Mac OS Big Sur, which is going to come with the latest Mac by the end of the year. And Apple has made another announcement, guys. All the core apps, including Final Cut Pro, which most of the editors use, professional level editors use that software, are already pre-programmed. Like they've been made compatible to the upcoming Apple Silicon processor. And Microsoft as well has worked on Microsoft Office. Now it has been compatible with the latest operating system and as well as the processor. And Apple is having talks with Adobe as well to make apps compatible for the upcoming processor. And Apple claims that it will be way more boosted, performance boosted. This means that Apple wants to make a laptop in which you can do the professional work, you can edit videos, you can compile them, you can render them, and most of all, they want you to play games. Although there are games available on the Apple App Store, special AAA games like Shadow of the Tomb Raider is already available on the App Store. If you're a macOS user, you can download it and play. Of course, you have to pay the price. And this means that we can see the upcoming MacBooks being on par with the top end gaming laptops, which come from Asus ROG Zephyrus G14, which is the latest one, powered by an AMD 4000 processor, fourth generation AMD Ryzen processor, which is the best in class right now in the gaming sector. No laptop beats it. And Apple has released a code for the developers, which helps developers easily switching over their existing apps to the latest Apple processor. It is called the Xcode, which Apple has announced, and the developers have to just paste that code in the original source code of the app and just have to recompile it again to make it compatible. And it also has released a feature called Universal 2. Suppose think that I've purchased an Intel-based Mac. I have my applications running on Intel-based Mac, and now I want them to run over Apple Silicon-based Macs. So it is possible just by click of a button. This feature is called Universal 2, which is a very useful feature for the developers. And the end result is that you can easily transition your files, everything, app data, everything can be switched over to that. And also there is a feature called Rosetta, which helped during the transition from PowerPC processors to Intel processors. And now another, it has been updated, and now from Intel based processors, developers can easily switch over to Apple Silicon based processors. They can make their applications run there. Apple claims that it has boosted its GPU. It will come with an internal GPU, and it will be on par with the gaming laptops, like specific graphic cards. Well, Apple has given 2 years for the developers to completely switch over their apps to Apple Silicon. Though the person who buys Intel based Macs right now can be benefited through software, because for a long period of time, they will be given the updates of the latest Mac OS. And we can see both the first Apple Silicon based Mac by the end of this year. Apple wants to strongly release. If conditions are perfect, Apple will definitely release it on the market and we can buy it. The users will now have complete a whole new experience using Apple Silicon based Macs. Basically, Apple has gained complete control over its products right now, and we have to get ready for that transition. So these are the some of the mind-blowing updates which Apple has announced, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, then give this video a like and get subscribed, and also comment on your favorite feature, and also tell me whether you're absolutely excited for this new upcoming feature or not. I'll see you guys in the next video, and stay home, stay safe. Bye for now, guys.